And we're live!
I'm Christine from Startup TNT.
And I'm Tessa from API.
And this is the Life Sciences Investment Summit.
Woo! Let's make some noise.
Clapping, yes! Thanks, Tessa. All right, founders, investors, sponsors, life science enthusiasts, people online, like my mom.
And my parents.
Like actually, like they're watching.
Not a joke.
We'd like to bring up Sangeet to welcome us to this lovely space.
Oh, hi everybody. Thank you so much for coming to Edmonton Unlimited. Oh, thank you, the center. Oh, right over here, huh? Okay. Hi guys, my name's Sangeet Brar. I'm from Edmonton Unlimited. We are so happy to welcome you to our space on Jasper and 101st. We'll keep it nice and short. Edmonton Unlimited is an innovation agency focused on Edmonton. I know there's people from here, from Edmonton and beyond, but this is the best city that TNT works in, just so everybody knows. There is no better than Edmonton. It's cold and people are still here. Best innovation ecosystem. I'm not at all biased whatsoever. But welcome to our space. Happy to chat with anybody afterwards. There's a whole bunch of people here from Edmonton Unlimited if you want to hear more about us, but let's get on to like the most exciting part of the night.
Thank you. Yes, thank you so much to Edmonton Unlimited for having us here today. Before we jump into the program, I'd like to start with a land acknowledgement. So I would like to acknowledge that we are gathered today on Treaty 6 territory and within the Métis homelands, which is the ancestral home of diverse Indigenous peoples, including the Cree, Blackfoot, Métis, Nakota Sioux, Iroquois, Dene, Ojibwe, Saulteaux, Anishinaabe, Inuit, and many others whose varied histories, languages, and cultures continue to influence our vibrant communities. We are all treaty people, and in the spirit of reconciliation, we recognize the enduring Indigenous wisdom of respect for medicine rooted in our land, holistic approaches that emphasize mind, body, and spirit, biodiversity, how we care for our health and for others, and the interconnectedness of all things. Christine, why don't you get back over here and start to tell us what's going to happen with the program tonight?
Well, Tessa, right in front of me, right here, are 4, and then one online, 5, excellent founders from the following excellent companies. We have, in no particular order, AssureCKD, Azor Biotek, Klinrisk, RJH Biosciences, and MHCombiotic. Now, these companies actually came from all the way across Western Canada. That's right, from BC to Manitoba.
Wow.
And Tessa.
Yes, Christine?
Did you know that this 4th Life Sci Summit, we actually had the most companies ever apply? Yeah.
I like that. I like that spirit. I actually did know that, but I don't know if everyone did, but I think what's great about that is it just shows you that the life sciences sector and the life sciences summit are both growing, so much so that we did 2 life sciences summits in 2024. For the first time ever, there's a really big reason that we need to be investing in these companies. There's lots of them, and 5 of them are going to pitch us here tonight.
Yeah, that's right. And competition was fierce this year. I love it. But founders in the front, do you want to give a little wave? Do you want to? Yeah. Woo, woo, and a clap. That's right.
So how does it work, Christine? What's going to happen? How are we investing in these companies tonight?
Okay. So Startup TNT, for those who don't know, each investor pre-commits $5,000. Over the course of about 2 months, the investors collaborate. They conduct diligence. There's weekly meetings to share the information with each other. In this escalating due diligence, we kick out a few companies. We come to the cream of the crop. Or sometimes, those companies come back if they don't make it the second time, or the first time. But the culmination of this diligence is tonight when we announce the winner of the investment.
We're going to announce that by the end of this program.
That's
so
right.
Get excited, because that's what we're all here waiting for, to see who won.
Thanks, Tessa. Okay, so not to get too deep into it, but Startup TNT. The ethos is have fun, make friends, build companies. And I certainly dug into that because in 2019, I went to the first happy hour.
The very first one.
I was at the first one.
I think I've seen you in a few photos from the early days of Startup TNT.
Yes, there was less wrinkles, actually.
Come on, Christine, I don't see a
No,
single
I started
wrinkle.
a company since then. Like I went to the,
Okay.
I pitched at TNT, and then I was an investor, and then things really escalated because now I work here.
Literally has seen every side of Startup TNT.
It's true. But over the course of these 5 years, Startup TNT has invested more than $15 million.
That's pretty good. That's amazing.
That's in 30 investment summits. We're at, or maybe 37 right now. We have over 400 investors across Western Canada engaged, and we've invested in well over 100 companies.
That's awesome. Let's give that a round of applause. But you don't do that alone, do you? That's a lot of work. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of companies invested in.
Yeah,
How do you do that?
It is a lot to bring the ecosystem together, so we couldn't have done it without our partners and sponsors. First and foremost, API.
Stop it.
Yes. I won't stop, Tessa.
But you will to recognize the other sponsors.
Okay, yeah, I'll do that. So our core funding sponsors are Prairie's Can, Alberta Innovates. I see Bindi in the house. Our BFFs are Osler. Let's see, next slide. Best Friends, MNP, and Fasken, providing services. Close Friends, BDC, RBX, or RBCx, sorry, University of Calgary Hunter Hub for Entrepreneurial Thinking. So those guys actually, they participated in some of the diligence this time around.
Nice.
And then last but not least, our community supporters. So this very crowded bar at the bottom that has all these logos, these are the people that bring together the ecosystem. We cross-refer, they put out the call for all these companies to come. It's great.
Well, it really does take a community and a really interconnected ecosystem. And Christine, I just have one question. Even though we're not a BFF partner, can I still be your BFF?
I'll think about it, Tessa. No, just joking. You can be my
Maybe
BFF.
by the end of the night, Christine and I will become BFFs because we've spent so much time together on stage. But just wanted to tell everyone a little bit about API, but I thought maybe because we have a bunch of pitching companies tonight, maybe I should try my hand at pitching.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, put yourself in the founder's shoes. Yeah.
I did this. Zach and I hosted the last Life Sciences Investment Summit together earlier this year, and I flubbed my pitch a little bit. Like, it's a little bit nerve-wracking.
Tessa, nobody knew. Nobody knew.
People asked me if I did it on purpose to break the ice for the companies, but I didn't. I actually screwed up. But there's no business like show business, so you just got to keep it rolling, right? Okay, well, without further ado, I will try my hand at my pitch. Thank you. That person is definitely not from API. API is one of Canada's largest not-for-profit life sciences organizations, and we're dedicated to accelerating sector growth by helping companies bring their life-saving products to market. We support the full development and manufacturing life cycle from early-stage research through clinical trials to, very soon, commercial production right here in Edmonton. Through our network of scientists, clinicians, and regulatory experts, we bridge the gap between academia and industry, assisting companies in commercializing their products like pharmaceuticals, medical devices, diagnostics, other health technologies, and more. So by fostering local talent and resources, we help companies develop their IP within Canada, and we're also playing a leading role in helping to secure Canada's supply of critical medicines while driving sustainable sector growth.
Love it, Tessa.
Thank you so much for cheering me on.
You know what? You can be my BFF.
Oh, I did it.
Yes, you did. That was the pitch.
Well, thank you, everyone. Thank you. We also have our own stats. We're supporting a lot of companies as well, but I think I want to get into what these companies are going to be doing tonight. Always pitching.
Always be pitching.
I just pitched. We're going to see some more pitches. The entire night is going to be about pitching. We have 5 pitches from our top 5 companies. Each of them are going to take about 3 minutes, and then there's going to be about 2 minutes for some of our investors to ask the companies a few questions. we just want to remind everyone in the crowd here tonight, it's not just about the companies, it's also about your support.
Yes,
so remember to cheer them on.
Cheers,
Give
clapping.
them some support. You can also help them by sharing some feedback, by connecting with them afterwards, or you can post on social media if you want. Use a little hashtag.
Hashtag LifeSci Feel free.
Thank you, Christine. And then I think there might be a little bit of a party after if we're just not really...
If we're not quite done. Like the pitches are so fulfilling, but we want to keep going.
Yes.
Yes. Then we can go to the after party at Pub 1905, which is that way. You might want to drive because it's snowing, but it's not that far. And you can donate to the bar tab. Cheers at startuptnt.com. There's already some people that have donated. So it should be a fun night. It'll keep going.
I think it's going to be a great night. But let's
let the pitches begin. All right. Thank you, Tessa.
Thank you, Christine.
So, you know, pitches are really, they're quite tricky. Like, they're a bit daunting.
I know. I just did one.
Yeah, like you're still shaking. Like, no, you're good.
No,
but,
I'm good. I'm good.
But I was thinking, we have these, like, VC investors that came to town. Right?
Should we make them pitch?
Yeah, we should make them pitch. They should experience that, like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, I don't think it's really fair for the companies to have to pitch to the investors if the investors aren't also going to have to pitch the companies,
exactly.
Right? Do we agree?
Yes, we feel good about this.
There's some mild enthusiasm about that.
It's minimal, but maybe they'll be, like, cheering by the end, I hope.
Well, who are we going to get to pitch?
All right, I want to bring up Arden.
Where is he? Where is he? There he is. Come on up, Arden.
Here he is.
He looks ready.
Yep.
He looks ready to pitch.
I want to bring up
Who's our next victim?
Ali from the U of A Innovation.
Hello, Ali. Come on up.
There we go. And I want to bring up Chloe.
Oh, RBCx.
Here we go.
Let's go. I'm going to get them some mics.
Yes.
Testing. Hello. Is this working? It is working. Well, this is a lot more fun than the usual summits. Oh, sorry, Zach. Yeah. All right. For those of you who may not know who I am, my name is Arden, and I'm the guy that introduced Zach and Tim to each other, so you're welcome. My day job, what I do for a living, is I work for Yaletown Partners, and as an investment manager, I'm one of those venture capital types that you hear about. So, my pitch. All right, I'm kind of winging this, so bear with me. So unless you are a ex-DeepMind AI expert for forming a company, it's pretty challenging to raise money quickly as a startup here in this city in particular. I think we all know who I'm talking about. But it's even more difficult in the life sciences sector because I think the trend has been towards certain types of companies, right? B2B, enterprise, SaaS software, if anybody is familiar with that term. But capital is in desperate need because life sciences companies have the opportunity to make the biggest impact, to save lives and improve the human condition. Unfortunately, we don't have enough literacy amongst investors in Canada, never mind here, to get going, especially in the early stages. So at Yaletown, we've managed the Accelerate series of funds since about 2016. And over 2 funds, we've done about 6 investments in medical technologies and diagnostics. And we see a really great opportunity here. So, especially in Edmonton. So coming into our next fund, Accelerate Fund 4, which should be launched anytime soon, I'm told. We're just waiting on the final paperwork. We're continuing with that investment and devoting about 1/3 of our portfolio to life sciences, medical technology type companies, because we do see an opportunity and value there, and there's a real need for it. I think the reason why you might want to go with us is because there's no one else in the, no, I'm kidding. A monopoly is always a good thing. Because we also bring other investors. We share our due diligence. We can help you round up in your early stage investment, round up capital from other investors, angel investors and such. We've helped Pulse Medica with our due diligence. We've helped Triangle with our due diligence. And so there's a little bit more value there than just a check. And we are networked with a number of people in industry who have expertise in actually bringing drugs and medical devices to market. Now I can talk a little bit later, because I've only got another, 40 seconds, I think, about what stage we invest in. But the point is we're an actual venture capital firm that is interested in looking at life sciences. Because at Yaletown, we believe that there are opportunities that go beyond B2B enterprise SaaS. And we're one of the only games in town. Thank you.
As he walks off, saying he's the only game in town, he walks on Ali. Ali, tell us about your fund.
Is this on? Okay, perfect. Okay, hello everybody. My name is Ali Wilson. I am here representing the University of Alberta Innovation Fund. So we don't have quite as much of our portfolio as Arden with Yaletown. We actually just launched last October in 2023. And in that time, we've made 5 investments, 2 of them in life sciences, so Pulse Medica as well, Arden, and then Nanostics, which I know there's a few around here. I saw them over there. Colin, hi. So we, in our experience, have seen so many applications in the life sciences, and coming from the university, there's so much expertise in the research there, and that's kind of one of the reasons we decided to set up the fund. Sheethal, our CEO, who wanted to be here tonight, but she caught a cold, so she couldn't. She saw this expertise with Bill Flanagan, President Bill, and he asked her to set this fund up because we have so much research. We want to commercialize that and create products out of Alberta. It's really important to us. So our thesis is kind of 3-pronged, if you will. So the first one is the sectors that we invest in. So that's going to be health, agriculture, energy, and AI. So a lot of life sciences involvement there. And then the second one is Alberta-made stories. There's so much talent in Alberta, whether that's at the University of Alberta, at U of C, U Lethbridge. We want to be able to promote that all across Alberta and scale that globally. And then the third one is social impact. So as some of you know, our fund is philanthropic donations from high net worth alumni around the ecosystem and people wanting to see U of A companies and Alberta companies thrive. So we want to make sure that the social impact is really there. So how are we helping Albertans, how are we helping Canadians, and how are we going to take this global and help everyone across the globe? So we're quite excited to see the life sciences pitches tonight. I have not heard of all the companies, so we're excited, and we're expanding across Alberta and Canada as we're moving forward as a little teaser. So we're excited to see that, and just with all the talent, it's going to be amazing. So good luck to everybody, and I'm excited to see your pitches.
Thanks, Ali. Good job. All right, Chloe. I feel like we're expanding. We're going wider scope.
We are expanding.
Okay.
We're expanding. Hi, everyone. My name is Chloe, VP VP Banking from RBCx. I too want to shout out to Arden. I was going to continue on with that thread. We are the only one here in Canada, in Edmonton, but I'm not going to go with that. So here we go. Start with my pitch. Hi, we're RBCx. We're ecosystem supporter, and we're so confident that we're relevant to life science because we are the partner of the most innovative company in Canada and beyond. And we're not only we have a team over 700 individuals from coast to coast, including some part of the States, to support our founders, but we also have a very dedicated team that are specialized in credit, capital market, and banking team, just that they're to support life science founders. And we're first and only Canadian bank. They've launched venture debt to pre-revenue life science company that are backed up by venture capital firms. Now, as an LP, we have invested, built a relationship, and banked with a lot of leading venture capital firms in Canada, including Novia, Amplitude, Genesis Capital. So with that said, I wanted to shout out to all the founders in the room. I feel excitement in the room. If it for you, we're not going to be here. So, I wish you all the success in your journey, and we're here for you, and RBCx is always here for you. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Chloe.
Thank you so much. I think that was a really nice icebreaker before getting the companies on stage. So thank you so much for doing that. And I promise we are now about to get to the company pitches.
The real pitches. Not that those weren't real, you guys, but we're here for the companies.
We're here for the companies. We promise, no more antics. Truly, we're moving on to the company pitches.
Really.
But we're not going to introduce the companies tonight. We've said it a few times. It's all about the community. So we're going to get some of our community supporters and sponsors to introduce the companies tonight. Mm-hmm. So to introduce our very first company, I would like to welcome Rob from BioAlberta to the stage and to tell us maybe a little bit about what BioAlberta's role is within this wonderful ecosystem. Welcome, Rob.
Thanks, Tessa and Christine. Great job on the MC so far. I'm Rob Stoddard. I'm the president and CEO of BioAlberta, and BioAlberta is the member-driven, member-funded industry association for life sciences in Alberta. And our mandate is to excuse me, to not cough. Our mandate is to help shape the sector through thought leadership, industry commentary, advocacy, and most importantly, company engagement. So first of all, I want to start off by congratulating Startup TNT and API on not only a great event, but what I know is going to be a great result, even though it's not here yet. So thank you very much. Thank you for the opportunity. I also want to introduce, because we're a big part of the ecosystem is our board. So we have board members here. Ron Mills is here tonight as one of our largest advocates, and we really appreciate the time he puts in. Is Svetlana Sapelnikova here?
There is quite a bit of snow, so
I don't,
maybe not.
I think she actually lives in this building. She spends so much time with Edmonton Unlimited. So, so reach out to us, follow us on LinkedIn, and our website, www.bioalberta.com. I have the great pleasure to introduce the first company tonight that's pitching, MHCombiotic. MHCombiotic has an innovative wound care solution that has the ability to disrupt the market and the standard of care, and actually is superior to traditional iodine-based and silver-based wound applications. They are a critical health innovation when it comes to antimicrobial resistance. And I know when they pitched at our investment panel at HLSS a couple months ago, there was a lot of intrigue and excitement about their innovation. So with that, unfortunately, they're not here tonight. There's travel issues.
Once again, the snow. The snow really played into this one. So Ali will be joining us on Zoom, and but that'll be good. We can still cheer him on.
So cheer him on, and I'm happy to introduce you to CEO Mr. Ali Pour Mohammed. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's lots of problem, and it's a big problem. So our solution, it's two-step solution. First, we are applying our wound cleanser. It takes 5 minutes to take off all debris and biofilm side. When the wound is clean, we are applying the second step solution, which is hydrogel, but it's patented active ingredient, prevents infection, not only that, but to accelerate recovery. Forgive me with the voice problem. So what makes us different? Screen over 80,000 formulation to find the optimal solution for this problem. Third-party laboratory, LP and CGMP labs, and several publications shows that our technologies are not only toxic, but also has anti-inflammatory properties that we can keep wounds, which is the most challenging type of wound, but available products mostly target early stage of the wound. These are actual samples from his hospital. Each row shows one isolate. In the right side, we can see available products in the market, and middle side, we can see our product. Green shows we need significantly less concentration of active ingredient to kill the microorganisms. So it's a platform technology. We are focused on wound care. The technology is the project 2022 officially, and right now we are about to submit our FDA application. Our second pipeline is respiratory infection. We got promising results in animal infection model. We are raising dollars to match our existing clinical trial funding to run clinical trials and have topical wound product in the market. We are a small team and Style co-founder working over 15 years on AMR. We got some awards and for the technology. In the business side, we have Alex, who's president of a publicly traded pharma company, and we have advisor from Pfizer BioNTech. Recently, we have advisor who is Mark, who is the previous CEO of publicly traded biofin. So we did comprehensive customer discovery interview over 26 clinics, as we were expecting by number one. And by having this technology, we are hoping to address this problem. We are the only company we run comprehensive mechanistic study using multi-omics to understand exactly the mechanism of action. And if you are interested in the core technology of our technology, I'm happy to share after this talk. Thank you so much, and I appreciate the time.
Okay, and here to ask Ali some questions, a question, is Jesse Weeb from Startup TNT. Jesse, come on over here.
I came all the way from Saskatchewan just for this. Yeah, it's great to see you here, Ali. I wish we could have picked you up on the way. I just came up from Calgary this morning. But I heard you came all the way from San Francisco recently. You were just down there. Tell us a little bit more about what that trip was all about. We always love a last-minute update at Startup TNT.
Sure, yeah. We selected 5-10 biotech company from Canada to present in Silicon Valley. And I stopped that event and flight all the way to here in Alberta to present in Edmonton, but unfortunately because of weather conditions, I wasn't able to teach in person. But we had like some promising conversation with potential investors, and we were in Pfizer BioNTech, we were Roche, and we are excited about this program as well as the program we were in.
All right. Well, thanks for attempting here on the virtual. We appreciate you coming out regardless tonight and wishing you best of luck. Thanks, Ali.
Thanks, Ali.
Sorry again. Thank you.
All right. So moving on to our next company, I'd like to invite Osler. We have Michael here from Osler. Come on up to introduce our next folks. I did want to say, you know what? I actually ran a quick survey of our portfolio life sci companies in the summer. Osler was actually the name that came up the most consistently for legal. Yeah, you should love it. All right.
That's awesome. Thank you very much. So nice to meet you all. I'm Michael. I'm a partner at Osler. Osler is a business law firm with offices across the country and one office in New York City, which no one ever seems to go to, but anyways. I lead our tech and venture practice at Osler, which is called our Emerging and High Growth Companies Group, and that practice is focused on really working with companies from even pre-incorporation through to subsequent rounds of venture financing, capital markets work, M&A work, and really just being a life cycle partner. We've got about 2,000 clients in the practice. We're doing $5,000 safe financing rounds to Clio's $900 million round that they just completed, Cohere's $500 million round, Fusion Pharmaceuticals exit to AstraZeneca. and are really lucky to work with a lot of cool startup TNT companies. And we are grateful to be BFFs with these folks and be part of all the great work that they're doing. So with that, I'd like to introduce Brock from Azor Biotek. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Michael.
Hey, gang. Yeah, so every disease indication has multiple RNA drug targets that are underexploited. Right now, in clinical use, there's only 4 RNA species that are targeted by small molecules. And these 4 targets alone command a market of $113 billion, and they are first-line therapeutics for dozens of different disease indications. So you can just imagine how many unmet treatment needs that you could address if you could target any RNA you wanted. Azor Biotek accomplishes this by targeting the spliceosome, which has clinical precedent, as well as microRNA, the topic of this year's Nobel Prize in Medicine. In fact, we incorporate all 3 of this year's Nobel Prize winning sciences. For those who aren't familiar with microRNA, these are regulatory inhibitory molecules that silence gene products, but unlike other inhibitory RNA, instead of silencing one, they silence legions. And for instance, our microRNA 29 targeting multimodal tumor inhibitor targets 207 oncogenes simultaneously. So if RNA are such great drug targets, why are there only 4? It's an incompatibility problem. You know, the drug development pipelines that have worked in the past for protein are completely incompatible, from the screening methods to the computational methods. It's such that, you know, most AIs out there, they train with target engagement, you know, the energy of the molecule binding its drug target. And this is insufficient for RNA because target engagement does not translate to bioactivity for RNA in clinic. So Azor instead uses kinetic data for our training data. And we can, you know, for any given disease indication, we can try to find a safe and effective RNA target. We use our AI-guided systems to curate a library that we then further refine with our optimized virtual screen. We've also developed some innovative early-stage evaluation techniques that are designed for RNA, but applicable fairly widely. And these can be catered to a disease of interest. We are cash positive. We have, to date, it's been pretty stratified. Most of the incoming money has been more from the benchtop science stuff that we've been doing, and that's not going to expand that much. We don't aim to be disruptive to the global market. But on the other hand, the computer-assisted drug discovery side of things, it's largely automated. It's not financially or physically limited, and we could conceivably expand that market 100-fold if we had a more aggressive marketing campaign. And we presently found some ideal customers that bridge this gap from discovery to development. And one of them, newfreedom.life, bring with them clinical expertise, which is perfect because the real money is in the molecules. So for that multimodal tumor inhibitor I was talking about, for quick turnover for investors, we're leaning towards preclinical out-licensing, and we've been in contact with some groups, but we're open. And with that, I'll just highlight our leadership team. Me and Javier are both recognized leaders in the biomedical AI field. Javier is transitioning his professorship to the University of Calgary. And we just picked up a CFO, but still room for marketing. And with that, I'd be happy to take any questions.
Brock, thanks so much. Yeah, let's give Brock a hand. Oh, I will, sure, I'll grab that. I think there was a few curious investors who actually had a couple questions for you.
Okay.
Yeah, so Abbas, where is Abbas? He's right here. Okay, I'm going to hand you, oh, there you go. And you know what? Christian had a question too, so if there were, we could have 2. Okay, but you go inside.
So Brock,
Yeah.
you got 3 Nobel Prize science in this wrapped up, okay?
Yeah.
Why are you bringing us back to small molecules here?
Well, you know, small molecules have a lot of advantages. Something like 95% of all funding in RNA-targeted therapeutics has gone to inhibitory RNAs because it's easy to see the path and it's easy to design something. But small molecules have a lot of advantages. For one, they don't have to be injected like oligonucleotides do. But there are a lot of other advantages. The very mechanism we use is non-competitive. So with any oligonucleotide-based therapeutic, you know, it's competitive. It has to compete with every other RNA molecule in its target, whereas the small molecule is not dependent on the concentration of its target.
Very helpful to learn all about that as a biochemist. I'm not sure other investors might find that as fascinating. So tell us more about the new CFO that you got. What's that about?
The new CFO? Well, I just picked one up because you told me I need people who are not as financially illiterate as I am. So, and we're interviewing some marketing gurus next week. So we got, you know, we're looking to expand people who know what they're talking about, who...
Sounds like a solid plan. Yeah. Christian, do you have a question? Oh.
I do. And that's a great segue. Because I was going to ask you, since you've got your CFO,
yeah,
and you're looking at someone for marketing,
yeah,
who's your next most important hire?
After those two?
Yeah. Maybe before. Doesn't have to go in an order. Who's your next most important hire?
You're really putting me on the spot here. I thought those were the 2 most important ones. Who is my next most important hire? Oh, yeah, COO, of course. Yeah. Obviously a COO. That's what the CFO's for. He's just to introduce us to
Excellent.
COOs.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Christian. Sorry. All right. That one. Well, that was entertaining. Brock, that was fantastic because we did put him on the spot. Next up, we will have, where is he? Steve from MNP to introduce our next company. Welcome. And I have to say, yep, MNP doubled down this particular summit because not only are they fantastic sponsors, but they were actually investors this round.
Investors other rounds.
And other rounds. Okay, you've doubled down on more than one summit. We appreciate it.
Money where our mouth is, yeah. Anyway, tough act to follow, so accountant comes up. Yeah, awesome to be a partner with TNT. So MNP, a lot of people are surprised to know we're the largest firm locally and across Canada focused on private companies. So with that, we can offer a lot more than just the traditional financial statements and Canadian taxes. So just this week, for example, working with clients on SHRED, cybersecurity, privacy, SOC, fractional finance, US and international tax, and the list goes on. What it boils down to is that we can be that one-stop shop for the tech and innovation companies that we love working with, right from startup to scale up and then all the way through to exit. So it's been an amazing partnership with TNT, and we get to meet lots of cool companies. And one of those really cool companies is Klinrisk, and so I get the privilege of introducing Nav.
Thank you.
Thanks, Steve.
Thank you. I'm really delighted to have the opportunity to present here on Klinrisk and what we're trying to do. Where am I aiming? Slides. Okay. Lab medicine hasn't changed in the last 40 years. Lab data still just comes in without any interpretation and fails to inform clinical care. There's a massive opportunity to transform lab data with machine learning to have it truly be clinically useful and bring us to Lab 2.0 and really drive value-based care, improve outcomes just beyond providing simple data points. Enter our first product. Our thesis as a company is that the lab is an untapped source of highly valuable information, and we can build software as a medical device on top of standard structured lab data and bring it to scale. Our first product is Klinrisk Kidney, and that's because I'm a kidney doctor. The way it works is you take routine blood and urine samples, you apply a machine learning algorithm, and you provide personalized risk and guideline-directed care plans. What you do is you risk stratify kidney disease, find the needles in the haystack, and improve their outcomes before kidney function is lost. We are doing this at scale and delivering value across the entire healthcare chain. We are already on the market in Ontario and BC with Life Labs. We have shown data with providers that using our test improves kidney disease care. We've shown to payers in a 4.6 million sample that our algorithm is highly accurate. It's the most accurate on the market today. And we've worked with biopharma to cut phase 1-2 trial size in half by providing synthetic controls that are risk matched. And we're not just doing this alone, we're doing it with marketing and distribution partners who are the largest in their industry throughout the globe. The first reason we used CKD was not just because I was a kidney doctor, it's because CKD is a major global health disease. It affects 850 million people worldwide and costs about $1 trillion. On the medical device, which is the regulated side, there's a total addressable market of almost $30 billion. And then there's a large market on the non-regulated side, which is using the exact same algorithm for population health and pharma applications. In the last 2 years, we've filed patents in US, Canada, EU, and key APAC countries. We've taken investment from the National Kidney Foundation, Strategic Innovation Fund, which is the largest not-for-profit for kidney disease in the world. We've also worked with the different players that I talked about, and our product is already in global kidney disease guidelines. Our growth will have 3 chapters. The first chapter involves more than $1 million in SaaS revenue, $300K a year in software or regulated device revenue, and the National Kidney Foundation endorsement. The next chapter, which you are participating in, has $3 million per year in SaaS revenue, $1.5 million per year in software as a medical device revenue, powered by a $3 million seed round. At the end of that, we expect that software revenue, medical device revenue, will take off and eclipse the SaaS revenue as this test gets reimbursed and starts to grow at scale. We are expecting CE marking in March 2025 and FDA approval in 2026, and we believe that we'll be deploying in clinical trials for leading pharma sponsors as early as 2025, and we will use these proceeds to launch our next product in heart failure. This is the team which has expertise in clinical medicine, finance, software as a medical device, and the advisors, which are truly the best in the world. Thank you for the opportunity to present our work.
Well, you're staying. Thank you so much. So I had the pleasure of grilling you like over the last 2 months, but 2 months. Not quite as much as Daniel. Daniel, who's in the audience here, who might...
Griller-in-Chief.
Yeah, Griller-in-Chief. Here he is.
Yes.
Stay over here. Hello, everybody. I'm Daniel, Griller-in-Chief. Nav, thank you so much for putting up with my million questions. One of the things that really intrigued me about this company, and I wanted to ask you about, is how do you address a global population and multiple global chronic diseases with a small team based in Manitoba? How have you approached this big problem?
So thank you. First, I think we realized that we cannot be a one-size-fits-all for all diseases. Some diseases are really identifiable, diagnosable, and you can prognosticate using lab data, and those are the diseases we're after. Those diseases include kidney disease, heart failure, fatty liver disease, and benign hematological conditions. So that's the diseases we're after. The second is we realized very early on in our journey that a small company, whether it's in Manitoba or San Francisco, cannot market to the end user, which is primary care doctors around the world. No small company can do this. You have to distribute at scale by partnering. So for our first solution that I presented today, we have a global distribution agreement with Roche Diagnostics. We seek to will find the right partner for the second and the third algorithm, but each time taking it further and further along the journey so the economics gets better for us and for Klinrisk investors for every subsequent algorithm. And that's the platform we're trying to build.
Thank you. Do I have time for one more? Yeah, one more. So I'm also curious in terms of your business model. You've gone through doing all this fee-for-service work, and you've been doing it for years and making money at it. How does this help you gather data, improve your pitch towards your eventual big moneymaker, which is the FDA product?
So thank you, Daniel. I think there are a few benefits for doing the fee-for-service or the SaaS work. First, largely the clients for this type of work is large pharma. And every time we launch into a new country, I realize that we need 3 stakeholders around the table. Of course, you need good science, but we think we also need key opinion leaders, so physicians who champion our cause. Some of that comes from my own network, some of that comes from people who read our publications. The second is the foundations, so the patient-specific foundations in that country. So as I mentioned, our first investor was the National Kidney Foundation. We have strong endorsement from the Kidney Foundation in Canada. And in each country we're launching in Europe, we're meeting with the foundation for kidney disease in that country. The final piece is how do you get the word out to primary care? So actually this work that you're referring to, which helps the company with revenue and finances, has a dual benefit because most of this work is done for pharma, and we've had pharma support in every market we've launched. Pharma helps us do webinars, pharma helps us reach primary care physician, pharma sponsored the first 3 months of testing when we launched in Ontario. So we see pharma as a valuable partner throughout our entire journey.
Thank you, and good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nev. So unfortunately, our next sponsor could not make it here this evening, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to introduce the next company. I'm actually going to toss this one back over to get him back up on stage, Jesse from Startup TNT.
Hey, I came all the way from Saskatoon for this, and I was actually just out in Ottawa, Montreal. They all say hi. And we're really proud to be here, and I'm actually really excited. At the halfway mark, we've already had companies from BC, Alberta, Manitoba, all over the place, thanks to our amazing sponsor network, right? We have so many amazing sponsors. BDC is one of them. Shout out to them. Unfortunately, they couldn't make it tonight. But if you're looking for non-dilutive funding or venture capital, because they have a number of VC funds, the great partner. And just wanted to take a quick moment that if you are interested in supporting Startup TNT as an organization, the Life Sciences program is going to continue to grow over the next few years. So we love your support.
It's going to be huge, Jesse.
Yes, it's going to be massive.
It's going to be massive.
Yes. Our goal is, I think, to take over the country. Is that the goal?
Well, we're already starting to, aren't we?
Yeah, we're ready. We got this fortress in Western Canada. So if you're interested in getting more involved, come talk to me. Talk to Christine. We'd love talking. Even the co-founder Zach is here. Shout out to him. Just watching from the audience tonight. So without further ado, let me introduce our fourth company of the evening. Another one coming all the way from Winnipeg, but the CEO is in Vancouver. So a great mix of diversity of the country. Welcome Harrison Ross, CEO of AssureCKD.
Woohoo!
Thank you, everybody, for being here today. My name is Harrison Ross, CEO of AssureCKD, and we bring you Matlock, a point-of-care screening and diagnostic device for chronic kidney disease. Oops. There are 37 million people with and over 120 million high-risk patients in the U.S. This is due to the prevalence of diabetes and high blood pressure, which make up 2/3 of all CKD cases. But even though we know who those high-risk patients are, we also know they're not getting tested, and there are various studies that show less than 50% of those high-risk patients get properly tested for CKD. This means too many people advancing into later stages of the disease, and this is expensive. Dialysis, transplant failure. Medicare alone spent $130 billion on kidney disease and its related costs, or 24% of the entire budget. And this is part of the reason that there's been a push for increased testing, and the associations and foundations listed here have been responsible for that push. Another reason for the push in increased testing is that there's never been a better time to test. There are therapies and treatments that have been discovered in the last 5 years that can limit or even completely stop the progression of the disease. But the problem is current testing is very inefficient. A patient today would have to contact their doctor, wait there, be sent to the lab, wait there before eventually getting treatment. And you lose patients at every single step along the way. Over 50% attrition means over 50% failure rate to treat. And that is why we bring you Matlock, where we can easily reach high-risk patients. Our point-of-care device allows for single-step screening and treatment, results in 20 minutes beginning to end, minimizes attrition and initial treatment failure. We plan to have a lab-equivalent device that follows standard of care tests and biomarkers, blood for EGFR, urine for UACR. We have a Matlock optical device reader that analyzes those chips, where information can be read on the device itself or sent to an app. Right now, we have a TRL4 prototype, and we're trying to get a TRL6 by Q3. This is where the chemistry will be completely de-risked. Other 2025 highlights will be the FDA pre-submission and feedback. Once FDA approved, we plan to go to market as a CLIA-waived site. Physicians' offices, pharmacies, mobile health clinics, and common CLIA-waived tests are glucose monitoring devices, pregnancy tests, malaria tests, and some STI tests. Because these CLIA-waived sites have an incentive to increase care to test. Right now, you could bill Medicare for UACR and dual marker GFR $36. We are currently making that same test in the lab for under 50 cents. We are trying to create an environment where both patients and providers benefit. And so we need $500,000 to reach that TRL6 milestone, and with most of the money going directly to product development. We have IP that surrounds the kidney chips, 1 granted patent, and a few patents pending that are in national phase. The IP is being co-developed through the University of Manitoba, where the technology founder, Dr. Francis Lin, continues to lead development. It is further supported by internationally renowned nephrologists and thought leaders in their space, and rounded up by myself on the finance and accounting side. Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you. And I'd also like to bring up our CMO, Claudia Regato, for the Q&A.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to need another mic. Yes, absolutely. Questions come next. You guys are not off the hook, and we're going to welcome up Colin from the Gnostics.
I'll join you on this side.
Well, thanks everybody. And first of all, thank you TNT again for another great summit. Every time we have these amazing companies, I mean, there's no losers here. Each one of these companies deserves some love and some support. So everybody, even if you're not investing, think of how we can help these companies succeed. So I love what you're doing here. Point of care testing is really the future. I'm really intrigued because I don't know as much about it. Tell me more about this CLIA-waived strategy you guys are undertaking, and why you think that's going to make a big impact on your...
Definitely. Well, I think accessibility is a huge part of this, right? We saw how inefficient current testing is, right? And that by having a point of care at a CLIA-waived site, we're making that testing easier. As I mentioned, they're also incentivized to increase testing. So we think we can really make a win-win-win environment, and the CLIA is part of that.
And so the pricing model you had there for the reimbursement was like $36, and you think that your margins are going to be high enough to kind of justify that, even when you take into consideration all the sales and
right, yeah, we do, and that we believe that is a huge competitive advantage for ours. So even though we're making them for under 50 cents in the lab, we know it'll end up costing more, but yes, we do believe there's enough margin to incentivize everybody.
That's great. It'd be great if we can get this throughout the United States, but the low-cost model is obviously good in other countries as well. Like
definitely, definitely.
That was great. Thank you so much, and good luck.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Awesome. Well, we have one more company. And like Jesse said, we've seen some good representation across the Western Canada, but wanted to kind of focus back in on Alberta and welcome our next community partner to the stage to introduce our last but not least company, Bindi Ferguson from Alberta Innovates. Why don't you tell us about our last company and about Alberta Innovates and the role you guys play in the ecosystem?
Thanks, Tessa. We're really happy to be a sponsor for tonight's event. And oh, apparently I need to be on camera.
That's
we
right.
don't really want that, do we? But great job, ladies. This has been a great event, and we're always happy to be a sponsor. So here's my pitch. How many people here are Alberta companies in the life sciences sector that like non-dilutive funding? Only a couple, okay. I might have some for you. So at Alberta Innovates, we do have a range of supports available for Alberta startup companies, and me being on the health team, I have some specialized health funding. So please come and talk to me afterwards if you're interested. Speaking of life sciences, anyone who has toiled in a life sciences lab knows what transfection is, and probably is haunted by it. For those of you that don't, I am sure the next company will be happy to tell you all about it and how they are revolutionizing this space. So without further ado, I'll introduce RJH Biosciences.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Reality hits hard. My 8-year-old niece's best friend has blood cancer. There are some days she is happy, full of life and laughter, and there are some days she is quiet, fighting a battle that no one should ever face. Just like her, there are many other blood cancer patients for whom the current conventional drugs provide limited effectiveness and little hope. Now imagine giving them a lifeline with the power of next-generation gene therapies. At RJH Biosciences, we are turning this vision into reality with the help of our cutting-edge lipopolymer nanoparticle platform, specifically designed to revolutionize blood cancer treatment by providing targeted, effective, and scalable solutions. Blood cancer is a disease condition where there's an overproduction of immature blood cells in the body, hampering normal functions like fighting against infections. There are different types like leukemia, lymphoma, and myeloma, all caused by changes in the DNA, that is, alterations in specific genes, which makes the cells to grow uncontrollably. Now, these faulty genes can be specifically brought down in numbers with the help of therapeutic nucleic acids. But therapeutic nucleic acids by itself cannot enter into the cell due to its nature and can be easily degraded by a body when injected. Therefore, it has to be packaged well, and at the same time, it should be safe. This is where our technology comes in. The lipopolymer nanoparticle platform developed by us is a single entity consisting of lipids and polymers, which makes it ideal to bind with the nucleic acid and package them well. In addition to being safer than virus-based systems and more effective than other polymer-based systems, it also involves a very simple manufacturing process. And we have successfully launched our lipopolymers into the market as transfection reagents for the R&D sector, based on the nucleic acid it can deliver and based on the cell type that the customer wants to work with. We have achieved this by either direct sales of our reagents to the customers or through our distributors that we have acquired worldwide. On one hand, we have our core technology that has been validated by various clients. On the other hand, we'll have this lipopolymers used for therapeutic use, specifically for blood cancers. There are a range of conventional drugs in the market for blood cancers by some of the lead players. There are also RNA-based drugs for other diseases, but not for blood cancer. With a total addressable market of 31 billion, serviceable addressable market of 12 billion, and serviceable addressable market of 3.6 billion, RJH will be the first to have an RNA-based drug for blood cancers. Our team, along with me, consists of Dr. Uldag and Dr. Raymond, the founders of RJH, along with our advisors. We have been recognized with funding from Berkeley Skylark, NRC IRAP, Gates Foundation, MITEX, and Can Export. And with their help, we have achieved some key milestones in the past few years. We have studied and published the biodistribution of our RNA drug in preclinical animal models. We have shown that our RNA drug can reduce the tumor and prolong the survival of the diseased animals. We have also tested them in blood cancer patient samples, and we are actively working on the scale-up and IP production of our technology. With their help, we The next stage is to initiate safety and efficacy studies in GLP certified facilities, initiate the GMP production of our core technology so that we can be ready for our pre-IND meetings with the regulatory authorities and file IND applications so that we can provide hope for patients in need. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Daniel. That was great. That was awesome. I wanted to be the one to ask questions.
Awesome.
So I've heard a lot about some awesome science. I heard about transfection reagents. So you're generating revenue, but I wanted to shift this more to a business type question. You've got revenue on one side, but asset development happening at the same time. So what does that mean for your plans for like the next 6 months to a year? Where's your focus? What are you doing?
So the next 6 months, we are going to continue raising funds for our GLP studies. But if needed, we are ready to have a small spin-off where the transfection reagent will be taken care of by different business and the blood cancer will be a different entity if required.
I think sometimes in Alberta we call that a twofer. So you're gonna, yep.
Yeah, it depends on what we need and depends on the founders, yeah.
Yep, that makes sense though. And then one final question, and it's just what makes your asset, what makes your reagent, your approach different than everybody else's? You kind of answered it, but you know.
Yeah, I mean, the first thing is it's really simple to prepare. Once it's prepared, you can ship it at just 4 degrees, at room temperature, and it can be used depending on what nucleic acid the customer wants to work with. So it's fairly very simple to manufacture. The production cost is very less.
Love that. Simple to use, yep, and potentially life-changing. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Why don't we do that a little bit longer? Give all the companies, all 5 companies, one more round of applause. Woo! Awesome. So we're just about at the fun part where we get to announce the winner.
We're getting there.
Have you had fun?
I've had so much fun. I have seriously enjoyed all of you pitching. This was fantastic.
It's been awesome.
Yes.
And honestly, like this entire summit process has been a really awesome one. Like we said earlier, it was the second Life Sciences Summit we did within this calendar year. So we did things a little bit differently. It was a pretty good time, some ups and downs, but
yeah, there were some ups and downs. That's
but
okay.
ends on an up note, and I think it also started on an up note, which was a little bit different this year. It's the first time some of our team members at API participated in a pre-screening committee, so
That's
kind
right.
of adding some of that technical, regulatory, scientific expertise when we were taking a look at the companies. So we were really pleased that TNT kind of opened their arms and their minds to taking a little bit of a different approach, and I think it added some value this year.
Yeah, and for the companies that didn't make it to the top 5, we're still following up with them and providing more technical resources to them as well. So it's been fun, Tessa.
Yeah, it's been a good time. And just before we get to the big news, we like to just keep you guys hanging a little bit longer.
Just a smidge.
Thank the sponsors
Yep.
once again.
Once again, API, thank you. Core funding partners, we've been through they're awesome. Thank you so much. Thanks to our sponsors who came out tonight to introduce. Thanks to the ecosystem partners, community supporters.
Could not happen without this entire community and this entire ecosystem. So we're just really happy to all be working together to support these companies.
So just one final note on TNT. I talked about stats at the beginning, but I think by the end of this Summit 10, we should be at $17.5 million raised, that's a lot of money.
That is awesome.
That's a lot of money.
Must have been a really good fall summit series.
I think so. And the TNT Capital. So beside our $5,000 investors, we have a VC fund. So it's a $3.5 million fund that this is the last summit that they will be investing $50K into the winner. The remainder of this fund will go towards topping up the winners with follow-on investments. And stay tuned. Stay tuned for 2025. There's more on the horizon.
Can't wait to hear more.
All right, I have to plug it. I'm going to be there. There's an after party, Pub 1905. down the road. It'll be a fun time, you guys. If you want to donate to Cheers at Startup TNT, I'm sure. I heard we were at $60 at in the morning.
There's a couple drinks.
People were planning.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Sounds like it's going to be a good time.
I think it will.
I don't know. Should we announce the winner now?
Tessa.
Yes, Christine.
Are you feeling ready?
I'm
to
super
announce?
ready.
Okay.
I thought you were never going to ask.
Okay. I think we need a drum roll.
Yeah, let's do a drum roll.
Let's do the drum roll.
Should make for a good drum roll.
Yeah, you can stop. Yep. There you go.
I'm getting the news from the investors via telepathy.
and
the winner is Klinrisk.
Klinrisk. Come on. Woohoo. All right. Yes.
Would you like to say a few words? Sure.
So thank you for the TNT community. I'm very grateful that we get to be here and present to like-minded companies and partners in the space. It's also amazing to hear everyone else and the great work they're doing. I think the companies who didn't win today will likely win tomorrow because that's just how good the science is. So thank you.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nav.
Thank you. Okay.
And thank you to the rest of the companies. Thank you, everyone in the audience, for coming out to support, to celebrate Nav, Klinrisk, all the other 4 companies. I think we're going to celebrate. You're welcome to stick around and celebrate with us here until 8
We've got about
o'clock.
another 15 minutes that the bar will be available. That's
and then
what I
otherwise
heard.
the after party.
And then down the road. Yep.
Thanks again. Have a great evening. We've loved your company here tonight, and we'll see you at the next one.
Thank you so much, everyone. Good night.